Great, good morning. Welcome. It's Monday. And because it's Monday and it's lunchtime, we are back cooking with Livia live from her kitchen in Italy. Looking forward to seeing her and finding out her recipes. Today, she's going to be cooking everything with peaches, very summery. So, we're going to be doing sorbetto and we're going to be doing baked peaches with amaretti biscuits. It's great. And we've also got our giveaway. So, if anyone would like to win this cookbook, this is the Chefs at Home cookbook. It's a book for charity that all chefs have donated their favourite recipes, and all proceeds go to Hospitality in Action. So if you'd like to win the cookbook, please just pop your name in the comments below and say, enter me into the cookbook competition, and you can win this cookbook, which is great for some inspiration. So anyway, let's go and find Livia, say hello, see what she's up to. Livia, hello, Livia. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How is it going there?
A bit wet. We've had a bit of rain in Edinburgh. It's good for the garden, very good for the garden, which is great. Super.
That's good. I wish we had some rain here. It's super hot. And today is not even very sunny. It's cloudy and hot and quite humid, and there are a lot of mosquitoes. I always say it so that our guests don't worry too much not to be able to be here right now. I say the mosquitoes make the worst part, and flies and mosquitoes everywhere because it's super hot and humid.
So but anyway. Perfect. Good. You're cooking peaches today. We're very summery today, isn't it? Peach sorbet and baked peaches. What else is on the menu?
Exactly. So today we are going to learn some recipes with peaches. I'm checking my syrup that I'm making there just to check that it doesn't dry too much, doesn't dry out. So we're going to do a few recipes, different recipes with peaches. We're talking about fruit again, and that's because I'm running the lessons here, so here fruit is ripe and is in season, and it's really good to cook with it and learn a new way and different ways to cook with it. I've seen a lot of our guests have enjoyed the apricot recipe because more than one have tried it. So I'm very happy that you try and you enjoy the new way to cook with fruit. Okay, so peaches are really starting to be in season here. You can see them, peaches even more than apricots are typical from here. So you can see we're surrounded by fields of peach trees where you can go and steal your peaches. This is again what I suggest you to do if you come here.
No, Livia, we can't encourage theft, Livia. We can buy peaches. We can buy peaches.
I know, but the flavor is very different if you buy them because they collect them not ripe. So they are very hard and firm. And I know that some of you prefer it firm, as I usually say. And the flavor is just very different because if a peach grows on the tree and you collect it when it's quite ripe, it's quite sweet and different. Still firm, but a little bit more ripe than completely raw. Anyway, I brought here all the different, I bought today actually, I didn't collect them, I didn't steal them, but I bought them, just to let you know, all the different varieties of peaches that you can find mainly here in my region. So this one is called percocca, okay, and I will show you how to cook with it. As you can see, we got some signs here, but I don't worry, I usually really don't worry about it. If you buy it this way, it means it didn't travel much to get to you and it's just been collected by the tree if you live in a place close to where they produce them. Percocca is a yellow peach that usually get ripe late in the season. Is the one you can find until end of August here, and is perfect to do jars of peaches. Is the way to have peaches all year round if you make jars with syrup, like I'm going to show you. Okay. I don't know if you can find this variety, but it's very hard. It's quite hard. Okay. And it stays more firm than any other peaches, even if it gets ripened. Okay. Then this one, I think all of you know this kind, which is maybe the easier to eat because it doesn't have any air. Si dice hair, vero Lord? Yeah?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. We call it it's a nectarine.
Nectarines. Yeah, esatto, nettarina. It's very spread out and is the one you can find easier. Is really good also when it's very ripe. Anyway, it's easy to be consumed because you can have it with the skin on, okay, if you wash it very well. This is the typical peach from here, which is La Pesca, una normalissima pesca with the hair on, okay? So, and it's the one that is most spread out here. Got really a little bit of hair, but not, you know, very thick, so you can just wash it and it will go away and you can just eat it with the skin on again. Instead, this one is a variety that I don't know if some of you have ever seen, okay? So it's quite modern. I think it's been starting to develop in Italy in 1950. It's called tabacchiera, okay? And it's called this way because originally so at the beginning they thought it got the shape of the container for tobacco. Okay, so it's like a little box like tobacco. It's pretty flat. So I find it difficult to be eaten because if you want to peel it, it's kind of impossible. Doesn't have much pulp, but the one that is there is really good and very tasty. So very sweet and a lot of flavor. And it's a white peach. So that's this variety that usually with this shape is really good because I think white peaches have, si dice in italiano, una marcia in più. They have, I don't know, say it in English.
Yeah, a better flavor. I think, are they not also called peaches from Saturnia, those peaches?
Exactly. These are called also Saturnia because of the shape. So as you can see, the shape, I don't know, don't look much at the sky at night, but it looks like Saturn, I think in English, which is the satellite. But if you look at from the land, dalla Terra, okay, it looks with this strange, quite flat shape. Okay, so it doesn't look completely round. So that's why it's called Saturnio. But tabacchiera is the original name from when they start producing them here in Italy. Okay, so the kind of peaches that we are going to use today, we're going to, for the first recipe, it's, okay, nectarine, okay, or you can even use the one with hair, okay, but nectarine are perfect because nectarine usually are easy to be found when they are quite firm, okay? And also, I think they keep the cooking better because these are the peaches we are going to use to make stuffed peaches. Okay, so to make stuffed peaches, we are going to cut them in half. So look for the peaches that are more firm, as I was saying, okay? Queste sono pesche al forno, okay, so pesche al forno ripiene di amaretti, okay, stuffed with amaretti, and in the past they used to be made also with almond. This is very firm, as much as I can open it, okay? So then you have to dig out the seed, okay, so the nut which contains the seed that now I will tell you about.
I think that looks a really simple recipe, Livia, a really easy dessert recipe. Just crush the amaretti and stuff it in the peaches.
Exactly, this is very simple, and I'm wondering if you do it also in UK. I think maybe you do, because I've prepared it when peaches are in season for our guests here in Bologna venue, and I think they really enjoyed it, and some of them maybe had it before. So the original recipe is from Artusi, Pellegrino Artusi, which is the gastronomy writer, famous, which is local actually, because he wrote the first book at the end of 1800, and he lives in Forlimpopoli, so which is here in Emilia Romagna. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit.
No, it's fine, Livia.
Okay.
It's a good link actually, talking about cookbooks, because if anyone's just joined us, we're giving away a cookbook today. So that was a really nice link, Livia, from Artusi's famous Italian cookbook to the cookbook that we're giving away. Have you heard of this cookbook before, Olivia, at all?
No, I didn't see. I've seen you were telling. Is it new? Did it just come out?
Yeah, it's just been published, and it's lots of famous chefs. So Jamie Oliver, Angela Hartnett have given their famous recipes and put this together as a cookbook, and it's been sold in aid of Hospitality Action. So we're giving this cookbook away. If anyone's watching wants to win it, then just enter me into the competition on the comments below, and Kieran's manning Facebook, and you'll choose a winner at the end of Facebook, which is nice. So yeah, anyone's needing, we've got some lovely recipes actually, really nice recipes. Butternut squash and something very un-Italian, butternut squash and coconut curry and spicy beef salad, chili broccoli salad, pumpkin soup, fish finger sandwich.
So it's just it's not Italian, but I mean it's not Italian cooking, but it's in general.
Yeah. These
made for charity.
Yeah, well-known chefs. Angela Hartnett's put in a recipe for bacon and fried egg bun. That sounds a nice weekend breakfast. So yeah,
Well,
nice cookbook. Anybody likes to win, just pop your name down in the comments. Great, so that was well timed, Livia. And you've got your peaches down.
survive. Thank you. I've made it. Okay. So as you can see, when the peaches are firm, it's easier to dig the seed out. When they are ripe, as you can see, that's the result, because they obviously they are too soft. So, but when they are as soft as this, you can just use a spoon to dig out part of the pulp, because we are going to use it for the stuffing, to prepare the stuffing. Okay, so as I was saying, Artusi have invented this, have collected this recipe from the countryside area where he was doing his research and collecting traditional recipes, so around here. And the recipes that he has collected about these peaches doesn't include amaretti, because amaretti biscuits by then were not produced yet, but it includes the use of almonds. You know that amaretti are made with almonds. So that's why it's actually at the end the same kind of recipe. So it's the same recipe that Artusi have suggested as collected as an historical traditional recipes from his age. So now, allora, I'm going to turn down this syrup because it's ready, sorry. Okay, so now that we got the peaches divided, I mean, you don't need to peel them if you're using nectaring, as I was saying. You can peel them if you want to use the, the one with hair, but actually, if you just wash them, as we were saying, the hair problem doesn't exist. Okay, we are going to mash part of the amaretti. Okay, here I can use the rolling pin. Actually, you mash the amaretti a little bit. You can crush them even just by hands, or you can use a knife, blade of a knife. Okay, easier for me is to use the rolling pin right now. Okay, so in the past, this recipe was including, as I was saying, walnuts. Sorry, not walnuts, but almonds, because amaretti are made with almonds. So an almond flavor actually is also inside the peach. Okay, and the almond flavor is given by the nut, which is inside the seed, which is inside the nut. Okay, so this is like an almond, but is slightly bitter. Okay, I wrote in the recipe that you can use it mixing it to the amaretti. Okay. You should use just a few, or maybe just one, because these can be toxic for our health, because they contain cianuro, like a little, something that can be transformed into cianuro. So if you eat 30 of these, you could have troubles, maybe even die. So in my recipe, you could use some, or we used to use some, especially when there was no amaretti but almonds, to give a bit of more bitter flavor to the almond taste. So instead of amaretti, they used to use almond, diced small, including some of the seed which is inside the nut, okay, which is contained inside the peach. Okay.
Perfect.
But not many, and no more than 3 for sure, maybe just 1 if you want to give it a bit of a bitter flavor. Okay. If you worry, avoid it, because we are going to use amaretti in this recipe. Okay, so after we have crushed the amaretti and we have diced a bit smaller what is left of the pulp of the peaches, okay, just a bit smaller, okay. We're going to mix these 2 ingredients, okay, into a bowl. Okay, we are now adding some sugar, because especially if you use not very ripe peaches, obviously it requires a bit of sugar, because the peach is not always, if they're ripe, they are very sugary, but if they are not, they're very sweet. If they're not ripe, you know, a little bit of sugar will help the stuffing to be caramelized, okay? And then we also need the yolk, just the yolk of 1 egg. So I'm leaving the white here on the side that we will need for another recipe, okay? And I'm adding the yolk. The yolk is required because we are going to, you know, we want the stuffing to be compact when the peaches are cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, to bound. Thank you. Okay. So this is very simple. There are different versions. If you check, you know, like there's another very famous stuffed peach, which comes from a Piedmont area, and there they use almond and also chocolate. Okay. Instead, this version is simple.
Yeah. Somebody was asking, Livia, would you cook the peaches in alcohol at all, or maybe would you add in some, I don't know, some amaretto, no, with any alcohol with the peaches?
Allora, I'm going to use some alcohol, some wine. Actually, I'm going to use rosé wine, but that's just for them to be cooking in the oven. Okay, not to produce a little bit of sauce, a nice sauce with rosé wine, and for them, yes, to be a bit more moist and not too dry. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle a bit of white rosé wine, in this case because I found a good rosé, and then place them in the oven. So very simple. Now the peaches are ready to be stuffed. The sugar will caramelize, and also amaretti contain a lot of sugar, so they will come out and they will caramelize. And the fact that the peaches are quite firm will help to contain all the stuffing. You will see the difference between the ones that are softer because more ripe, and also the more firm one. Okay, trying to use up all the stuffing that I made. Okay,
perfect.
Very simple. Okay, and now we sprinkle some rosé on top.
Oh, you know me, Livia. I always like a glass of rosé at lunchtime. Well timed. Very nice.
Yeah, of chilled rosé. So this is Cerasuolo d'Abruzzo. So it comes from, I don't think it's really in Abruzzo, but the grape is from Abruzzo, and it's really nice. It's 12.5, but it's really nice now for summer. Rosé wine are always nice. Now it's quite modern to make rosé that are sparkling. So make rosé with red, famous red, and but this one is
I
from
saw that. You know, we go to the winery in Puglia, actually, Casal di Salve. They've just brought out a brand new rosé sparkling wine.
Very good. You know everything about Puglia wine. Okay, now I'm sprinkling also some a little bit of sugar on top, just to make it a bit more crunchy, but you will see that the result will be crunchy. Okay, now I'm going to place them in the oven while we prepare the other recipes. Okay, they will cook. Okay, so the oven is about 170 for about half an hour. They should be ready. I hope they will be ready by the time we finish. Okay, so now let's go to the next recipe, which is really simple. Here I've been boiling a syrup for about 20 minutes. Okay, I will now put it back on because otherwise it's getting hard quite fast. So I'm just adding a little bit of water, and I'm going to boil it for a few more minutes while we finish preparing the peaches. Okay, and I'm going to show you how you can preserve the peaches. This variety, which is called, as I was saying, percocche. I don't know, have you ever found them? Have you ever come across with these kind of peaches, Lorna?
Yeah, they almost look like apricots, don't they?
Yeah, the color looks like apricot. Well, I'll show you an apricot that I bought today. Giant.
Wow.
I like it. So it looks very similar. It's really nice. It's really good and very ripened. But it's an apricot, so this is really the shape of a peach. So did you know that peaches come from Persia? That's why it's called Prunus persica. They come from Persia. Persia, you say Persia, right? I don't know. You say it in English.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So they come from there, and maybe they develop in Italy from 1800, from the 1820. Something like
and you're obviously doing a method how to preserve fruit. If somebody didn't have peaches, could they use that method to preserve other kinds of fruit, like, I don't know, cherries, or, as I say,
yeah, I think you can do it with many fruit, but especially with peaches, you want to keep the fruit firm and hard. You don't want to boil it, so that's why it's good to use this method because you don't want to cook. Yeah, so I think you can do it also with, for example, cherries. For example, it would be good. I remember my grandmother, La Nonna Maria. When it was summer, we used to go to the house in the countryside, and surrounded by peaches tree, we used to make these vasi con le pesche sciroppate. So we call them syruped peaches, maybe. I don't know how you could call them there, but it's very simple because my father used to bring the peaches from the fields, and we just used to cut it, peel it. So it was quite difficult because we're making quite a lot of pots, jars, let's say, to be able to have them all year round available. Then we were making a syrup and then adding the syrup to the peaches, and that's all. So, and without even having to seal the peaches. Okay, this is quite firm, sorry, I'm struggling to cut it, but anyway, we're just doing, come si dice spicchio, un pezzo?
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
little
okay.
Spicchio.
Uno spicchio, sì, di pesca, so just, if you cut it well, nicer. Then you make a syrup, and the syrup has to be boiling for at least, let's say, 20 minutes, because that's the thing that will make sure that the peach jar is preserved and it can last longer. So it's the temperature of the boiling syrup of water and sugar that will preserve the peaches. Okay. And as you can see, the percocche usually are quite firm, even if they seem quite ripened because it's quite soft. It's not very. It's important to peel it. You don't have to use it. You don't, especially percocche are airy.
Yeah. I can just imagine, Livia, the smell almost. I can just imagine your fingers. It must be a great fresh smell of peaches.
Yeah, right now, really, it's a perfect time for peaches, apricots. So there's this incredible smell, and I promise that every lunch, actually, I mainly eat fruit more than maybe it's so hot that you eat just a salad, really, and a lot of fruit because it's so cheap and so good coming from the trees that everyone should have it, and it's really good. But peel the peaches all the time. That's what my father always told me, because there are a lot of chemical additives that are used for peaches, and especially for peaches and for all this fruit, and they are not good to be eaten. So you should always peel every fruit that you use, because it might, it's really dangerous, And my father used to peel it even quite a lot. Even if you take fibers off, it would be nice to peel them well before eating them.
And it'd be nice as well, I would imagine, if you've got lots of extras, it'd be nice, that jar looks really pretty as a present to give to somebody as well.
Yes, it's we used to, because when they collect peaches, the less firm one are always to be thrown away. So they put them in a box, and then anyone can take them for free. And that's why I'm used to eat those ones, and I prefer them because they are really more flavor and sweeter because they are more ripe. Okay, so here I have, you should make a syrup that should boil 20 minutes with water, and for each liter of water, 300 grams of sugar. I remember that was my grandmother's recipe. So the syrup is quite dense because it cooks for about 20 minutes, as you can see here.
And how much water did you need then, roughly, for that size of jar? Is it about a liter or two?
This was about, to make this syrup that I started making 20 minutes ago, I boiled about half a liter of water. So it was about 150 grams of sugar. You need to be boiling hot, and then you need to turn it over like this, and you need to leave the boiling hot jar with the boiling syrup upside down like this. It will seal the
lid,
la chiusura. Yeah, and make sure that no air goes in. So, and when you taste it, when you open it, since this is an homemade product, when you open it, you should make sure that it didn't ferment. If it has ferment, you can die. So you should don't eat it, you know.
No.
So don't eat anything that is homemade that will go through fermentation. Because I won't boil these in water like you usually do when you bottle tomatoes.
Okay.
Because if I boil it in water, the peaches would cook, and they won't be as firm as I like them to be this winter when I will open this jar.
Brilliant.
Okay, it's very hot, I cannot even touch it.
Yeah.
So fill it up with the syrup, turn it upside down and leave it there. A day or 2 days, turn this way. So anytime in the future, you will find, I don't know, some peaches that you think might be worthy for you to try to do it, and they can last for a long time. You know, the season for peaches is not very long here. It's usually really just June, July. In August, there is this variety, and then they over. And we don't find them all year round. So that's why here, I don't know there, but here it comes like this. When we find them, they buy them from Spain, so they are different, and the season is just a little bit longer, but not much longer.
Okay.
So that's why these are good to be bottled, like we've just done, when you find good one, they have a good flavor. So even if you don't have to steal them from the tree, when you find a good product, use it. Okay.
Yeah. And just a quick
But
question.
is there any recipe in the book about the peaches? Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't know.
This book I'll double check, but I know you've sent us the recipes, and I think we're going to post the recipes just now on the comments below, actually, for the recipes that you've given them, and pop on the blog too. And somebody was just asking, Livia, in terms of the jars, do you sterilize the jars beforehand? Do you put them in the oven just to sterilize them, or what do you do before you use
I
the
think
jars?
that would be much better. But the way I've learned to do it, because we don't take many years to eat these peaches, you know, like just this winter we will use it. I've never, we didn't sterilize them. If they are new, you don't have to sterilize it. Most important is that it's well cleaned, and the only part that should be new is the lid. So then if the pot is clean, it's fine. Don't need to be sterilized. Instead, it's important that when you open it, you check what you got inside the bottle, make sure it didn't ferment, doesn't bubble, or doesn't do any strange noise when you open it. And for, again, since you're going to put out the recipes, I'm worried that I wrote, as the traditional recipe says, the seed of the nut of the peach can be used for that recipe, for the stuffed peaches that we are cooking in the oven now. Make sure that you don't put more than one, or maybe skip it. It's a traditional recipe down the way, but don't use too many of them. Maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 if you make a lot of peaches. But pay attention, okay? Because it can be dangerous.
Top tips. And how are the peaches in the oven? Are they ready yet? The peaches.
No, but now we are making the sorbet, so I hope there's still some time. Yeah, perfect. They are cooking quite high. Okay, I put them down a little bit and I'll show you.
Perfect.
Okay.
If anyone's just joined, we're giving away this lovely cookbook today, so pop in your name in the comments to enter to win. And I just checked, Livia, they've got a lemon and almond polenta cake. Giorgio, that's his recipe, lemon and almond.
Okay.
Sounds lovely.
Lemon and almond. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. It depends if it's a summer book or, I mean, it's a book that for charity, right? That came out now. It's not about summer. It's about general recipes. So that's why maybe there's no fit. Okay, so now we're going to make the sorbet, which is very simple. I'm going to show you how to, prepare the small cubes that are required for this preparation. Okay, so we are going to actually peel again the peach. Okay. I'm using the 81. Yeah, sorry.
I think you need an assistant there. You should have had an assistant, Livia, there to help you peel all those peaches.
I know.
Assistant. I'm sure there'll be some volunteers. There's a few of us that'd be happy to come and be in your kitchen.
In my messy kitchen, I know. Like now, after a year, I got used to clean everything after, get ready with everything before, clean everything also before. Okay, so but that's normal. When you work in a kitchen, don't worry about the cleaning up. And if you have an husband that help you, maybe it's better.
A friend is good too. A friend's fine.
Okay, so for this preparation, we are making small cubes of a quite ripe peach, because a ripe peach is sweeter and is much nicer, the flavor of a ripe peach for sorbetto than one that doesn't taste sweet enough. So the sweetness of the peach come dice, rise up, aumenta, the more the peach is ripe, because it concentrates the sugar. So that's why it's important that this peach is ripe. Okay, so we're going to make small cubes, about 1 centimeter square, I don't know, cubes like this of a ripe peach. Okay, now I'll show you, because I've already freeze them, so I can show you the final result. You just make small cubes of a quite ripe and sweet peach, and you freeze it.
Yeah, I was just thinking as you were making that, Livia, I was remembering as a child, I used to have an auntie, and I used to get as a snack, and it was brown bread with raspberry jam and fresh peaches chopped up on the top. That was a snack that I used to get as a child, and it was really yummy. Yeah, peaches and raspberry jam and brown bread.
You lucky, because you got very nice raspberries. We don't have any, so
yeah, raspberry jam.
Like it.
Yeah, I think Gay was just saying on the comments as well. She's got raspberries down in Devon. Yeah, it's really.
You're lucky that you got nice one. Really, we don't have any. So these are the peaches that I've already freeze. Okay. To make a syrup, there are many different. To make a sorbetto, there are many different ways. Either you make it with gelato, okay, so there are many ways to make it. This is a simple, fast way which works very well. That tell you to freeze the fruit before blending it in a mixer. So for this recipe, you need to have the fruit frozen. So you make the cubes that we have just made here, then lay them in a tray with some greaseproof paper, because otherwise it become all like a block. Then it's difficult to mix it, okay, to blend it, to mix it. So that's why I'm making sure that there's not really a block of ice, because otherwise I could break my mixer. Okay, so that's why you freeze it flat, like I've just done. Okay, then we take the mixer. I'm using a normal mixer, but you should use quite a strong one that allow you to, to blend also ice. I don't know if you got quite a strong one like that. The fruit has to be really frozen, and it will make the sorbetto become more creamy if it's really frozen. I will place these to freeze for later. Okay, so the fruit that I've used was very sweet and ripe and frozen, as you can see here. Okay, then we need for half a kilo of fruit. So it doesn't mean the peach with the seed and everything, but just the fruit that you've peeled and cut into small cubes. We are adding, now I get it from here because I know it's the right weight, about 160 grams of icing sugar. You can make your own icing sugar, adding just custard sugar that you will make finer using a mixer like this, for example. Otherwise, you can use already made icing sugar, which is much easier. Okay. Then you need the white of an egg that we will beat a little bit with a fork. Just a little bit, like this, okay? Okay. And then we need half the juice of a lemon. You see how seasonal we are here in Italy. Right now, lemons are green, if they are local, so I cannot find, my mother is very angry because she always say, yellow lemons have more juice, and she say, I don't like the green one. But these are local, they come from Amalfi, because that's what they have now in the trees. Yeah. So if you want to buy local, doesn't matter the color of the product, like it's green and it have maybe a little bit less juice, but still nice. Okay, this will give it a bit of acidity. So the juice of half a lemon.
I always love how you use that potato masher, Livia, to squeeze the juice out of your oranges and lemons. A great idea,
Yeah.
really good idea.
Yeah, great idea. That comes from Antonio. I always talk about Antonio.
Mr.
I think it comes.
Antonio.
I think I've seen it first time from Antonio in Puglia. See,
Wow.
I hope he's well. I was thinking of going to see him
Perfect.
because there is really nice, and then maybe we can do some lessons from there when I'm there. Like I could help him maybe translate. So now I'm going to, I can smell, sorry, the peaches are cooking quite high flame. So now I'm going over there where I'm going to mix. Si dice mix, Lorna? Sì.
Yeah, mix, yeah.
Okay. It's important that the fruit is very frozen, as I was saying, to make it more and more, oddio, lo metto qui, okay, more creamy. I hope not to kill my mixer. Sorry for the noise. Okay. I think it's all quite blending, as you can see. Not all of it yet. It's really creamy.
Wow.
Okay, really creamy. Sorbetto have to have a thick consistency, and it can be drinking. You can drink it, or you can now make it another way, like I'm going to show you. We can just have una cannuccia. Come si dice una cannuccia? Well, you can drink it, okay, or you can eat it with a spoon, okay, or you can do what I'm going to show you now, which means freezing it, making small portion that now I will show you, okay, and serve it with some ice cubes. Look how organized I am.
You're well, guys. I always thought sorbet was a little bit more kind of icy, had a bit more sort of granular.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if I taste it, it's very frozen. The kind of sorbet maybe you're talking about is the lemon one, or the one that is made with citrus fruit. And you can make a sorbetto in many different ways. There are other ways, which include not freezing the fruit, but using ice. So using ice and using ice cream. But usually this is in between, something to drink, but also as a dessert, let's say, because it's quite thick. So you can serve a cup of it, like I'm going to show you now. Otherwise, you can just make a single little balls. For example, if you freeze these for, let's say, half an hour, and when it's freezing, you take the little tool that you use to make small
balls. Yeah.
Ecco, okay, like for ice cream, okay. And then you can serve it together with some ice cubes that will help. Oh,
oops, they're alive.
They will help the sorbet to stay cold. Okay. So we are now serving these little single balls of this sorbetto that has been freezing after I've mixed it. Okay, like this. Adding some white peach, because it's really usually very sweet and nice. Okay.
I wonder if you'd add some mint with that. Would that be nice to flavour it, or some basil or something? No.
I think mint goes very well, and that's what I brought in the recipe. So even just some mint leaves that I got here.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty nice, like this. So this is like an ice cream. Because see, these are freezing, and the ice under keep it cold. Okay. Otherwise, you can serve the sorbetto with a spoon. Okay, this way. So if I put this in the freezer for about half an hour, and then after half an hour, I take the tool that I got here okay, to make the single balls. And I finish freezing them with this round shape. I could serve it like this. It's exactly the same thing. I've just done it previously. It's exactly the same creaminess that you will get out of it. You can melt it in your mouth. Instead, you can decide to serve this with a spoon or con una cannuccia. Non mi viene come si dice cannuccia. Allora, the one to drink.
Cannuccia, is it? Yeah, it's like a kind of cream or something. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody.
No, I don't. La cosa when you drink something and it's served. Vabbè. The one you.
Oh, a straw, cannuccia, a straw.
This today is very funny. I hope everyone's having a lot of fun with my stupid. Comunque, you can say it this way, either with a straw or a spoon, or just a spoon with something that is more frozen and served like if it was an ice cream. Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm going to take out our peaches now because they are starting to be burning.
Great. And actually, what I'm going to say, I think since we're almost nearly finished, last chance to win the cookbook, and then I'll let Kieran choose a winner and post it and let us find out who's won. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, cannuccia, and I was like, oh, of course, I remember when you're small children, you know about straws.
I think straw is quite simple. It's me stupid that I didn't get it. So there's the sauce that now I'm going to show you how you can place it on top of. It's quite cooked because to make sure it was going to be cooked when we were finished, I put up the temperature too high.
It's crunchy.
So you will see I kind of burn it a little bit, but you can take one which is not burned. Sorry, I'll move it here. Take the sauce that come out from the rosé wine, okay, and add it on top.
I love that plate, Livia. Where did you get your plate? The blue plate, that looks really nice.
Questo qui è di Puglia, obviously. Rufano. As usual. So. Okay, so you see, I've caramelized it a bit too fast because my temperature was quite high, but this is the result. And if you want to see it, I can show you that even if the peach was quite firm, now it's easy to be cut or eaten even just with a spoon. Okay, so because it's much softer. And the sauce is made with the rosé wine and the liquid of the peach that came out.
Brilliant.
While it was cooking. Ta-da! Okay.
Buon appetito. That looks delicious, Livia. Gorgeous. Taste of summer. Summer on a plate. Just fantastic.
Here it's really summer, so you should come. And I think maybe you can come. But you're going to Loch Lomond, right?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, I think next week we're going to be, we'll do the live from Loch Lomond next week, I think. I think we'll be Loch Lomond.
Che bello. So you can show us the landscape or what it looks like there. Or we can meet the guests that are there on holiday.
Yeah, I think they're arriving later in the afternoon. But yeah, no, next weekend, Monday, I'm at Loch Lomond, so we can do the live. I'll be there for the live, which is great. Really good.
Very good. And then on Friday, I think I got the pasta lesson.
Yes. What you?
So I mean, yeah, we're going to do. I mean, it's the pasta master. So we're going to do many different kind of pastas, not just the egg dough, but also the water and flour dough. And last week pizza, I think it was successful. It was very hot here. I was burning out here with my oven, but I think they enjoyed it. I've seen some results on our Flavors Amici page. And yeah, the pasta, I'm also going to show how to make pasta using a machine that I got here. With just water and flour. Okay, I'll show you the picture. I got the machine here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Okay, which is a machine that I don't know if you have ever seen it. It's chiama Regina. It's very simple. And you can make bucatini, fusilli, all different kind of pasta. It's just a matter of having the right dough. Then you pass it through there and you can make your own spaghetti, for example. So it's called the strudel. Yeah. And so that's what we're going to make. We're going to make it normal by hand, but also as an extra thing, I'm going to show them how they make pasta in the south of Italy to make packaged pasta at the end.
Perfect. Oh, that's great. So anybody wants to join your class, it's on Fridays at 6 o'clock on Friday or 6:30.
Okay. Yeah, 7:30 here.
6:30.
I know.
That's great. That's great. I was just looking in the comments. We've got a winner. Congratulations, Catherine Kelly. This cookbook's yours. That's super.
Okay.
I'll get that out in the post to you. And no pressure. If you want to cook anything and post some pictures and let us see what you've got, that'd be great. So, Livia, we'll see you next Monday. And are we going to carry on with our summer recipe theme?
But yeah, I think I'll think about what to cook. I think
a surprise.
Something seasonal for sure. Also, I think green beans or fresh beans for you. I'm not sure. We call it fagiolini here. It could be something that you have very easily, and they are in season here. So I would like to talk about that.
That's great. Good. What else are you up to this week? Are you out and about? You going to the beach? Going to get a suntan?
Well, no, today is a little bit cloudy, even if it's very hot. I think I will stay here with air conditioning maximum level here in the house.
Brilliant. Well, that's great.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you so much, Livia. They were great recipes. There's a copy of the recipes in the comments below and also on the blog if anybody wants to cook Livia's recipes. I know lots of people do, and they're lovely, so simple and really easy and tasty. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Have a good week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.